Okay, real talk for a sec. Have you ever, like, gotten in a full-on battle with one of those self-service kiosks? Like,
Yeah.
you're just mashing the screen thinking, would it be easier to just yell my order at someone?
I think we've all been there, yeah.
So this deep dive is here to validate those frustrations because we're going behind the design of kiosks
Mm-hmm.
and not just like what they look like, but the UI design, like
Yeah.
the blend of psychology and tech that determines if a kiosk is actually intuitive or like some escape room.
Yeah, exactly. We're digging into brand new research, actually.
Oh, nice.
Published January 1st, 2025.
Wow, hot off the presses.
Yeah, it's packed with insights about what makes these systems user-friendly or, well, not so much.
User hostile, yeah.
Yeah.
So get ready for some serious aha moments because we're breaking down this research and figuring out why some kiosks make you feel like a tech genius while others have you running back to a human.
You know, the interesting thing is that these self-service kiosks are everywhere.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, fast food, ATMs, airports, everywhere. Yeah.
And they all promise speed and efficiency.
Right, right.
But the reality is often it's just a ton of frustration.
Really?
And this research really points to design flaws as the main culprit.
Yeah, it's the rise of the machines, but with terrible user manuals.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's funny, you're right, though. Those poorly designed kiosks
Yeah.
turn a simple order into like a wrestling match with a touchscreen.
Think about it.
Yeah.
You walk up, you want something quick, but the buttons are tiny. They're unclear.
Unclear, yeah.
The steps are in some weird order, and
Yeah.
you're like, what am I supposed to do next?
Oh, tell me about it. Those kiosks with the low contrast, you know, the buttons you can barely see unless you have perfect vision. Talk about a UI design fail.
Yeah, classic example.
Yeah.
And this research really gets into the psychology behind those struggles.
Okay.
It explains how we process information on screens
Mhm.
and how even seemingly small choices
Yeah.
can have a huge impact on our behavior.
Yeah.
Wait, so it's not just about making it look nice.
Right.
There's actual brain science involved here.
Absolutely. So, for example,
Okay.
studies have shown that users rely heavily on visual recognition rather than memory when they're using these interfaces.
Okay.
So, making those cues really intuitive is essential for a good user experience.
Yeah, you're bombarded with so much information all the time. Who's going to
Right.
remember all the details of, like, a kiosk interface?
Exactly. And that's where good UI design comes in.
Okay.
This study actually tested two common ways of showing information:
Okay.
page switching and window overlay.
Okay.
You know how annoying it is when you're ordering something
Uh-huh.
and the kiosk just throws you onto a totally different screen?
Oh, yeah, you're like, where am I? What's happening?
Totally out of context.
Yeah.
That's page switching, and it's a big design flaw.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
It's like being in a conversation and someone just, like, changes the topic completely out of nowhere.
right.
You're just like, whoa, wait. Totally disorienting.
It is. And the researchers actually found that all this jumping back and forth between pages
Yeah.
can increase what's called your cognitive load
Oh.
and lead to errors.
So you make more mistakes.
Yeah, you do.
Interesting.
The better way is window overlay.
Okay.
Think of it like a pop-up window.
Yeah.
It keeps you in your flow,
Okay.
so you're not constantly getting lost.
Okay, so is window overlay the, like, magic solution?
Well, not quite.
Okay.
The research also looks at something that seems super simple, plus and minus buttons
Oh, yeah.
for adjusting quantities.
Yeah.
Seems straightforward, right?
Yeah, plus means more, minus means less.
You'd think so.
Yeah.
But the study found that even those can be a huge headache.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
Yeah.
How can plus and minus be confusing?
Well, this is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
They found that people often struggle to understand if that initial 1 on the plus minus button means one item is already included,
Okay.
or if they need to hit plus to add the first one.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah,
Especially if you're in a rush.
right.
You could end up with way too many or way too few.
Exactly.
Wow.
And speaking of buttons, the researchers also tested something else really interesting.
What's that?
What if those buttons actually told you what they did?
Okay.
Clear, descriptive text buttons.
Instead of just plus or minus?
Yeah.
So, like, it would actually say, add one. That's remove one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they wanted to see if that extra clarity made a difference.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if they're so great, why aren't all kiosks using them? What's the catch?
Some people found them too large and wordy,
Mm-hmm.
like they added visual clutter,
Oh, okay.
you know, especially on a busy screen.
Yeah, too much going on.
Right, it's about finding that balance
Yeah.
between clarity and keeping things simple.
Right, form versus function, the classic battle.
Exactly.
But it sounds like This research makes a strong case for clarity,
It does.
especially when you're, hangry trying to order food.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And this wasn't just like people's opinions.
Right.
The researchers backed this up with data.
Oh, okay.
They gave each design a kind of user-friendliness score,
Uh-huh.
and the designs with clear text buttons
Yeah.
and those pop-up windows,
Yes.
they scored way higher.
Oh, cool.
People found them easier,
Yeah.
made fewer mistakes,
Oh, nice.
and even said they'd recommend them to others.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
So they actually had people try these designs out,
They did it.
like in the real world.
Yeah, remember those real-world interfaces from the study?
Yeah, yeah.
They had people test those out. Things like selecting a meal,
Okay.
customizing their orders,
Wow.
and checking out.
Okay.
They looked at how long it took them to do stuff
Yeah.
and how many errors they made.
So like putting those kiosks through their paces,
Yeah,
see which ones trip people up.
exactly. Well, the results were interesting. One of the kiosks consistently led to longer times and more errors.
I bet it was the one with the confusing buttons
You got it.
and crazy navigation.
That one was the worst.
Yeah.
People were clicking around,
Yeah.
second-guessing themselves,
Yeah.
having to go back and fix stuff.
Frustrating.
Yeah, it really highlighted how bad UI design
Yeah.
leads to frustration and wasted time.
It's like a puzzle just to order a coffee.
Right.
Okay, so which interface was the best?
Well, they didn't just analyze existing kiosks.
Okay.
They actually used their findings to design 4 improved prototypes.
Oh, cool.
Each one had different combos
Yeah.
of information, presentation, and button types.
So they built their own ideal kiosk interfaces
Sure.
based on what they learned.
Yeah, they wanted to see if their tweaks could actually make a difference.
Did it work?
Yeah.
The one that combined the window overlay
Uh-huh.
with clear descriptive text buttons
Yeah.
was the clear winner.
People found it the easiest.
Cool.
They finished faster, made fewer mistakes.
I like it.
It seems like they found the right balance, just the right amount of info,
Yeah.
presented in a simple way.
Yeah, people love those text buttons, huh?
They did. The text buttons took out the guesswork, especially when customizing orders.
Yeah.
And with that window overlay,
Uh-huh.
everything stayed in context.
Yeah.
So no more jumping between pages.
Getting lost. Makes sense. We need to send this research to every kiosk designer,
Right.
like a cheat sheet to better UX.
It highlights how important the user's perspective is.
Speaking of users, did they actually talk to the people who tried these designs?
They did.
What did they have to say?
Well, one thing that came up a lot
Uh,
was the desire for real-time feedback during the ordering process.
Interesting.
They wanted to see their order total update instantly
Oh, yeah.
as they made changes.
Yeah, instead of waiting till the end.
Exactly. No more budget guessing games.
Right. If I add extra cheese, is it going to break the bank?
Yeah, exactly.
Smart.
It makes the whole process smoother,
Okay.
less stressful.
They're not wrong.
Right. They also suggested things like better categorization of menu items,
Oh, yeah.
like grouping similar dishes together
Makes sense.
to make browsing easier.
So you don't have to scroll through a million options.
Exactly.
What else?
Some people even suggested having the system automatically move to the next logical step.
Oh, interesting.
So after you pick your dish, it takes you right to drinks without you having to hunt for the right button.
That's smart.
Right.
Like it anticipates your next move.
Exactly.
That's good UX.
It is. They also wanted better error messages.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of just error, try again.
Ugh, I hate those.
Right.
They're so unhelpful.
Yeah, they wanted more specific instructions
Makes sense.
on how to actually fix the problem.
Yeah, instead of just being like, something went wrong, figure it out.
Right. Those interviews were really valuable.
Yeah.
They provided a ton of insights
Uh-huh.
beyond just the numbers.
Yeah.
They really showed what people actually want
Right.
and need from these systems.
So we've talked about the research
Yeah.
and some design recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
What does it all mean for us, the average kiosk user?
Well, the main takeaway
Yeah.
is that good UI design
Yeah.
isn't just a bonus.
Okay.
It's essential.
For like a positive experience.
Exactly.
So next time we're at a kiosk,
Yeah,
we should pay attention to the design.
Yeah.
And think about how it makes us feel.
absolutely.
Like, are we confused?
Yeah.
Frustrated?
Right.
Happy?
And now you kind of understand why you might be feeling those things.
Right.
It might not be you.
Yeah.
It might be the design.
It's empowering to know that.
It is.
Yeah.
Like it gives us the power to advocate for better design.
Right. Demand better.
Exactly.
So we've covered a lot.
Yeah.
Anything else from this research?
Oh, yeah.
That stands out.
Yeah, remember those real-world kiosks they tested?
Yeah.
One of them actually got redesigned
Okay.
in 2023.
So they tried to improve it.
Yeah.
Did they fix everything?
Well, they tried,
Okay.
but the researchers pointed out that there were still issues.
Oh, interesting.
It shows that UI design is an ongoing thing.
Yeah, it's not a one-time fix.
Right, there's always room for improvement.
Right. What works today might not work tomorrow.
Exactly. As tech changes
Yeah.
and our expectations change, designers have to keep refining things.
So we can't just assume a redesigned kiosk is automatically amazing.
Right.
We still have to be critical.
Yeah,
Pay attention to the design.
absolutely. And that brings us to our final thought.
Okay.
The researchers recommend that kiosk designers think beyond the basic ordering process,
Okay.
like adding features that enhance the experience.
Like what kind of features?
Well, one suggestion was real-time order updates.
Oh, interesting.
Imagine tracking your order's progress right there on the screen.
Oh, that would be cool.
You'd know exactly where you were in the queue.
Yes, you're not just standing there wondering if they forgot about you.
Exactly.
That would be amazing.
Right. What else did they recommend?
Oh, yeah. That real-time tracking would be a game changer.
Right.
I'm already less stressed just thinking about it.
And they also recommended adding call for help buttons.
Oh, so you don't have to, like, wave your arms around
Exactly.
when you run into a
Yeah,
problem?
could get help with one tap.
I love it.
And the system could even tell the staff
Oh, cool.
where you are in the process
Okay.
and what you need.
So you don't have to explain, like, your whole order saga.
Exactly.
Oh, that would be so much less embarrassing.
Right. It's about making these things more, like, human-friendly
Yeah.
and less likely to make you panic.
Yeah, it shouldn't feel like you need, like, a computer science degree
Right.
to order a pizza.
Exactly.
It sounds like it's not just about making them functional. It's about making the whole experience enjoyable.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's an important takeaway,
Yes.
whether you're a designer,
Hmm.
a business owner,
Okay.
or just, a kiosk user.
Yeah.
We should be pushing for these systems to be designed with the user in mind.
Yeah. This shouldn't just be about cutting costs
Right.
or replacing humans entirely.
Exactly.
Because there's nothing worse than feeling like you're, like, in a battle with a machine
Yeah.
just to get lunch.
Absolutely.
So this brings us to our final question.
Okay.
If you could design the perfect kiosk,
Yeah.
what features would you include?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Besides the real-time updates
Yeah.
and the call for help,
Mm-hmm.
I think I would want a way to, like, easily customize my order
Okay.
without having to click through a million menus
Yeah, I like that.
and submenus. Maybe a built-in rewards program
Okay.
that, like, recognizes me
Uh-huh.
and applies any discounts.
That-
So it's personalized.
Yeah.
Make those kiosks work for us, not against us.
Exactly.
So we've reached the end of our deep dive
We have.
into kiosk UI design.
Mm-hmm.
Any final thoughts?
I think this research shows that we're at, like, a turning point
Okay.
with this technology.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just a novelty anymore.
Right?
They're becoming the norm.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
So it's more important than ever to get the design right.
So it's not just about making them less frustrating.
Right.
It's about shaping how we interact with tech in our lives.
Exactly.
Because it's everywhere.
It is. And by understanding good UI design,
Yeah.
we can advocate for systems that are more intuitive,
Uh-huh.
more efficient,
Okay.
and ultimately more human-centered.
Yeah. It's time to demand better.
Absolutely.
No more settling for those frustrating, confusing interfaces.
Let's make those interactions as smooth and enjoyable as possible.
So, on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah.
Hope you learned something new.
Right.
Feel empowered to demand a better kiosk experience.
Until next time.
Yeah, stay curious.
And don't be afraid to,
Yeah.
fight for a better user experience.
Yeah.